Howard Hughes had money, power, influence, access. He could build what he wanted, go where he wanted, control almost everything around him, and still he ended up alone. Not because he lost everything, because he tried to control everything. Howard Hughes didn't start broken, he started focused, young, driven, precise. He didn't just want success, he wanted control over outcomes. That sounds like discipline at first. It is. But control, when unchecked, doesn't stabilize, it expands. If you've ever felt like the more control you gain, the more you need to maintain it, stay here. This is the Golden Lining. And I'm Kush Nathu, and I tell stories about when strengths go too far. For Howard Hughes, control became something else. Success without limits. Now, Hughes didn't just succeed, he dominated multiple arenas: aviation, film, business. He broke records, built companies, made decisions others couldn't. That level of success creates a dangerous belief. If I control everything, nothing can go wrong. That belief doesn't feel extreme at first, it feels responsible. Now, the shift from control to obsession, at some point, control stopped being strategic. It became compulsive. Details mattered more, precision increased, tolerance for imperfection disappeared. He didn't just want things right, he needed them exact. And when exact becomes the standard, nothing feels complete. While success made it worse, most people think success reduces pressure. For Hughes, it increased it because now expectations were higher, stakes were bigger, outcomes mattered more. And the more that mattered, the harder it becomes to let go. So instead of relaxing, he tightened control further. The body starts responding. Here's where it becomes physical. Control isn't just mental, it affects behavior. Routines become rigid, interactions become limited, environments became restricted. What started as discipline became containment, and containment slowly becomes isolation. Isolation doesn't happen all at once. So Hughes didn't just wake up isolated. It happened gradually. Fewer people allowed in, more rules created, less tolerance for unpredictability. Each step made sense individually. Together, they created distance. And distance over time becomes disconnection. And the fear that was never satisfied. At the core of control is fear, not always visible, not always acknowledged, but present. Fear of loss, fear of imperfection, fear of things going wrong. Hughes tried to eliminate risk, but here's the problem. You can reduce risk, you can't remove it completely. And the closer you try to get to zero risk, the more extreme your behavior becomes. When control turns into a system, eventually control becomes structured. Specific routines, specific conditions, specific environments. Deviation wasn't uncomfortable, it was unacceptable. That's when control stops being a tool and it becomes a system you're trapped inside. The outside world continues without you. While Hughes tightened inward, the world moved forward. Industries evolved, people adapted, systems changed. Hughes stayed inside his structure and the gap widened, not because he wasn't capable, because he was no longer connected. The loss of function without loss of power. Here's what happens what makes this story unique. Hughes didn't lose wealth. He didn't lose influence immediately. He lost functionality. He could still control things externally, but internally, things were deteriorating. That's a dangerous place because from the outside, everything looks intact. From the inside, everything is shifting. Why no one could stop it. People around Hughes saw changes, but power creates distance. When someone controls everything, challenging them becomes difficult, not because people don't care, because they don't have access. And without access, intervention doesn't happen. And the final phase, control without freedom. At the end, Hughes had control over everything around him except himself. That's the paradox. The more he controlled externally, the less freedom he had internally. His world became smaller, not by force, by design. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Your greatest strength can become your greatest limitation. Howard Hughes teaches us this: power is control, but when control replaces flexibility, It stops protecting you and starts containing you. Now, the difference between discipline and control: discipline builds, control restricts. Discipline allows adjustment, control resists it. Hughes moved from one to the other slowly, and by the time it was clear, it was already established. If you're someone who values precision, structure, and control, the story isn't telling you to abandon it. It's telling you to monitor it. Because the line between strength and limitation isn't obvious, it shifts gradually. Now, the real legacy is that Howard Hughes built incredible things, but his story isn't remembered for what he built, it's remembered for how he ended it. That's the reality of imbalance. The end defines the narrative. Control feels like security. Freedom requires uncertainty. Hughes chose control and lost freedom in the process. If this story stayed with you, don't stop here. Click on the next video on your screen. It's another Golden Lion story about power, pressure, and the unseen cost of success. I'm Kush Nathu, and this is the Golden Lining, and this is where control meets consequences.